What's up, Eagles Nation? Well, here we go. The final weekend of the regular season. The final Sunday, I should say, of the regular season. Of course, tomorrow, Eagles taking on a familiar foe in the New York Football Giants. Of course, as we all know, winning you're in. All they got to do is win. The heck with what Dallas is doing. I understand if the Eagles lose and Dallas loses, the Eagles still get in. Doesn't matter to me. Take care of business. You're playing a team that you should beat. And here we are again in another week where, a lot of fans are looking at what the opponent did a week before. Okay, and I understand the week before the Giants had a really good offensive game. It was against the Redskins. I think we need to take that into consideration. Both teams basically playing for who's going to, have a higher first-round pick at that point. Both teams not very good, and I understand that Daniel Jones had a good game last week, and Saquon Barkley, had a good game last week, and that offense was on point, but they were playing the Redskins. The Redskins are not very good. So, look, the Eagles have their own issues, okay? We know this. It's been well documented. Are they a perfect team? No, but what we do know about the Eagles is they have been playing realistically their best football at the right time in December when you have to play your best football. And obviously, look, a 3-game winning streak, three straight wins against division foes. And now you play yet again against a division foe, a team you just played it some weeks ago, won in overtime here at the Link against the Giants, that Monday night game. Of course, one of the heroes of that game will not be playing. Of course, Zach Ertz is out. Lane Johnson is out. They have a number of guys out. It's a mass unit yet again, but they do get Jordan Howard back at running back. I think that's good. That's a key. I really like the way Miles Sanders is playing. Well, Miles Sanders has really been a big role of this team's 3-game winning streak, as well as the way Carson Wentz has played. Carson finishing games off. Miles Sanders, of course, finishing games off as well, being an integral part of this offense and really one of the only explosive weapons that they have. I mean, yes, other guys have stepped up, like Ward and Boston Scott and company, but Miles Sanders has had a tremendous run here and has had a tremendous rookie season with the Eagles, one of the all-time greats in franchise history as far as total yardage out of a rookie. I believe he has the record. If he doesn't have the record, he's very close to having that record for an Eagles rookie on offense, and he's been a real difference maker. And look, it's the battle of Penn State yet again. You have Saquon Barkley on one side and Miles Sanders on the other, two guys who were teammates at PSU years ago. Of course, Saquon, the more heralded running back out of Penn State, but Miles Sanders certainly made a name for himself there, and he certainly made a name for himself here in the NFL, and has been a big addition for this Eagles offense this season. And when they needed a player to step up the most, Miles Sanders has been one of those guys who's done so, and he has a chance to have another good game again tomorrow against the poorest Giants defense. And I understand the Giants' secondary is not very good. I mean, we know about bad secondaries around here. But at the same point, and I know that Doug's going to want to come out throwing the ball, but without Zach Ertz in there, obviously we know they're dressing 3 wide receivers again this week. And now you're even that much more thin in the passing game because you're without your top weapon for Carson, of course, number 86, who's done it for many years. Now, I know Dallas Goedert is coming off a really good game. Maybe you can arguably say his best game as a pro. A week ago was had a huge game against Dallas, and coincidentally his named after. And he stepped up. He's going to have to step up again this week. We know this. But at the same time, I do think that this is an opportunity for the Eagles to come out, establish a running game. You have Jordan Howard back. You have Miles Sanders. Maybe you sprinkle in a little Boston Scott. You have that 3-headed monster at running back. And you know what? I know the Giants, one of their biggest weaknesses is in the secondary. And the Eagles certainly exploited that in their overtime win some weeks ago, Monday night. But at the same time, without all these weapons even more missing, without Lane Johnson at right tackle, I still would feel a little better with trying to establish that running game. Will they? I have no idea. Dougie loves to pass. So it doesn't seem to matter who is not in the lineup. They're still going to put the ball in the air. And again, against the Giants, you can do so. Even the Redskins, a week ago with without a lot of weapons, were able to put up points on the Giants' defense, and they were able to throw the ball But at the same time, yeah, it was. I do think it's a type of game that if you can just establish a physicality early. I mean, the Giants are a team that's going to play loose. They have nothing to lose, obviously. Besides, if they win the game, they'll have a lower first round pick because they'll have 5 wins. But yeah, they are going to be playing loose. But again, with really nothing on the line, and the fact they are playing a team who's owned them, in recent time. If the Eagles come out and get off to a good early lead and are just pounding them, with the run, and the Giants, are already going to be half thinking about the offseason, well, you can start having them think about the offseason that much sooner if you come out and just establish dominance early and really physically, play this team, and really take that, any sense of hope that they have, away from them early. I think that would be a good thing. But we'll see. Obviously, Dougie does likes to pass, and it is what it is. But we'll see. If it were me, I would try to establish a running game and open things up for the passing game. I'm not saying you can't pass at all tomorrow, because even without the weaponry that we will be without, still should have some success throwing the ball against a pretty bad secondary. But again, we'll see. Defensively, the way they played Dallas last week, that blueprint and how they beat Dallas, that's what you got to do against the Giants. You got to stack it up against Saquon. You got to take him out of the equation as best you can. He's a tough running back to take out of an equation, but so too was Zeke Elliott. And last week they did a really nice job taking Zeke Elliott away. They made Dallas one-dimensional, and that one dimension just wasn't working. Look, Dak was off last week. That offense, the wide receiving core as a whole was off, but they made them one-dimensional. And like I said before, Dak's not going to beat you alone, and I don't believe Daniel Jones is going to beat you alone. In fact, Daniel Jones, I know last week he had a really good performance against the Redskins, but for most of the season when he was in there, he's been a turnover machine. When you take the running game out of the equation and make Daniel Jones and that offense one-dimensional, they have some weapons at the wide receiver position, including very briefly former Eagle Golden Tate. But at the same time, if you make that offense one-dimensional, that gives more chances to get takeaways, because Daniel Jones has shown in his rookie year, he's a giver. He likes to give the other team the ball when you make him throw pass. So obviously with that in mind, I do hope that Jim Schwartz and the Eagles defense comes out with that same kind of effort that we saw from them a week ago against Dallas, against the run in Dallas, to do the same thing in the run against the Giants. Because, look, the Redskins couldn't do it last week, and that's part of the reason why the Giants exploded on offense. If the Eagles can take the run away, as difficult as it is, Saquon's a great back, but as difficult as it is to take the running back away, if they can do similar to what they did a week ago against Zeke, it just opens it up more for this team to get a win and to get some takeaways, from the Giants. And again, as we know, Daniel Jones over his rookie season has turned the ball over, on many different occasions. Giant fans can tell you that. So we shall see. We shall see how it goes. Get pressure. He's a young quarterback. He's a rookie quarterback. I know they didn't get a lot of pressure a couple weeks ago against Haskins. I think they did a better job last week, even going up against a better offensive line than they went up against it with the Redskins. To get pressure on Dak, and they got some sacks, and they made some plays. They were flying around. They also got a big takeaway on the fumble. For the running back there. But again, takeaways, you got to win that takeaway battle. You got to try to neutralize the Giants' running game with Saquon Barkley. You got to watch him out of the backfield, though, as a pass catcher. Make the Giants one-dimensional. Make Daniel Jones be one-dimensional. Try to have him beat them alone, because I don't believe if Daniel Jones, if it's on him to win the game, that he's going to do it. And I know at times he's looked pretty, decent, obviously early in his time there last week, but there's been a lot more inconsistencies with him, and he's a young rookie quarterback. You're going to make mistakes. And, again, Jim Johnson in this, Jim Johnson, I have Jim Johnson on the mind for whatever reason. Jim Schwartz and this Eagles defensive coaching staff, again, the bottom line that going into this week is to neutralize Saquon as they did a week ago with Zeke Elliott. And you'll have, that much more success in stopping the Giants' offense. Because, again, if you make your opponent one-dimensional, it makes them more easy to defend. I know the Eagles' secondary is a little scary at times, although give him credit. Look, Sidney Jones made a great play last week, knocked away a pass that would have, possibly tied the game there. So, late in the fourth quarter, and basically that was that. So, I know Rasul Douglas, he's going to have a bigger role. Sidney Jones is going to have a bigger role this week because of injuries. Darby's going to be out. And we'll see. They have to make plays. They have to step up. The safeties have to step up too, but they're going to be asked more to neutralize the run. So you're going to see Malcolm, you're going to see McLeod there in the box to try to stop the run. So that means guys like Rasul, Sidney Jones, whoever's out there at cornerback, got to do your job, got to stop these passes because obviously with more in the box to stop the run, there's going to be more one-on-one opportunities on the outside and also in the slot there for the Giant receivers. So again, it's on the corners to defend. And I know that's been an issue at times this season. And I know last week there were some drops with Dallas and there were some missed throws by Dak, but that's okay. That's part of the game. People talk about Carson missing throws. Well, Dak missed throws last week. You'll see Drew Brees. I know, he's played really, really good in recent weeks. But you'll see him make missed throws. You'll see Brady miss throws. You'll see Mahomes miss throws. Quarterback's going to miss throws. They're not going to be perfect every game. But, you take those, and as a defense, if a receiver drops a ball or a quarterback overthrows or underthrows a receiver, you take it. It's part of the game. And sometimes those overthrows and sometimes those miscues are caused because of pressure. And like I said, I think the Eagles defense did a pretty good job a week ago getting pressure on Dak. And again, making that offense one-dimensional, making Dak try to beat you himself. And more times than not, he's not going to. It's the same thing this week with the Giants. As I said, Daniel Jones alone probably isn't going to beat you. And in fact, if you make them one-dimensional, it's that one dimension that's been hurting the Giants a lot. With a lot of interceptions when Daniel Jones has been in there. Lots of interceptions. So, hey, to the secondary, when he throws you a ball, you better catch it. Okay? Because he'll give the Eagles secondary an opportunity of making some plays. Of course, I got my Herm Edwards jersey on here. Mitchell Ness Herm Edwards jersey. Obviously, when you're playing the Giants, when it's Eagles-Giants, you got to think of the miracle in the Meadowlands, and there's been quite a few over the years for the Eagles. I think it's something along the lines of 4. I know the Herm one was the first one. You also had one that hasn't been discussed too much in the grand scheme of things of the miracle in Meadowlands, but there was that one, I believe it was like a block kick or something like that. That was returned for a touchdown by Clyde Simmons, I believe, many years ago in the Meadowlands. Of course, you have the Brian Westbrook punt return for touchdown, and, of course, the Deshaun Jackson punt return for touchdown. So, hey, you know what? As I've always said, I don't care what the score is. It doesn't matter to me, the end score. We all know what's on the line right now. We just got to win this game. I don't care what the Giants' record is. I don't care what the Eagles' record is. It's an NFC East division rival game. It is the last game of the season. The Giants have nothing to play for, so they're going to be playing loose. The Eagles obviously have everything to play for with the playoffs on the line. Playoffs! And obviously, look, they're playing at the same time Dallas is. It's just how the NFL wants to do this, right? So they might not know what the score is unless someone looks up on the scoreboard up there, as it was a year ago in Washington, and you see the score. But at the same time, just handle your own business. As I said, it's an NFC East divisional rivalry game. And over the last how many years, the Eagles have dominated the rivalry. It's been basically all Eagles for a number of years, to the fact that now they have the all-time lead, head-to-head, lead by, I think it's like a game or something like that. They have really played well against the New York Football Giants. And again, tomorrow, look, a lot of Giant fans have sold their tickets. It's going to almost be like a home game for the Eagles. So take care of business. Again, I don't care if they crush the Giants, if this game is over by halftime, awesome. Because we haven't had many of those games. If it's a close nail biter, if it's another Miracle in the Meadowlands type game, I'll take that too. I just want to win. It's the old Al Davis saying, just win, baby. I mean, that's all it is tomorrow. Just win. I don't care if it's pretty. I don't care if it's ugly. If you win and you get to the playoffs, I will take it. And it's a home game against either an injured Seahawk team or an inexperienced playoff 49er team, coming here at the link next weekend for Wild Card Weekend, and I'll take it. I mean, look, I know, hey, look, you're going to have to play a tough team, and it is what it is. You get to the playoffs, you're playing tough teams. But I just want to get in. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me how they win tomorrow. Just win. You get in, and then you take on the loser of the 49ers Seattle game on Sunday Night Football tomorrow night in Seattle. And we'll see. Whoever we play. And hopefully they start getting guys back. Maybe they get Ertz back or Lane Johnson. And you take your chances. They've done it so far to the past 3 weeks with injuries. And if they can win again tomorrow, that's 4 straight wins with injuries. And again, as I said a week ago, if they can win, that's 4 in a row. They're one of the hotter teams in the league. Even with the injuries, it's one of the hotter teams in the league. And now you have a home game and you know how the fans are going to be, all revved up and ready, for that game. And first time have a home game since 2017. And the last time the Eagles were at home in the playoffs was the NFC Championship game against the Vikings. And we all remember how that one went. Okay, so you take your chances. At this time of year, I don't care. It's 0-0. I'm not looking at schedules. I'm not looking at records. I'm not looking at how the Giants played a week ago because for most of the season, look, they're a 4-win team. So in totality, what have they been? Because they played well a week ago, it doesn't overly scare me because, again, I look at who they were playing and what the situation was. They're playing a different animal this week. And they're playing an Eagles team that, look, they know they have to win this game and they get to the playoffs. So it's a little different. It's a little different than playing the Redskins, who are basically playing for first round bye, first round the draft pick rather. I'm sorry, the draft pick first round bye. Well, Redskin fans haven't heard that in a long time, huh? No, the first round draft pick. So look, just take care of business. Win this game. Don't worry about Dallas. The heck with Dallas. Dallas, we don't even have to mention. The only Dallas we're going to mention tomorrow is Goddard. Okay? We're not even going to worry about that game. It's not going to matter. Just win our game. Eagles just win the game, take care of business against a winnable opponent in the Giants, even though it's on the road, which would kind of be like a home road game, but be a lot of green there in the Meadowlands tomorrow. But take care of business, handle it, win the game, and then you get ready for either Seattle or San Francisco in the wild card round right here a week from tomorrow, or a week from tonight, or a week from tomorrow, whenever they play the game on wild card weekend and the start of the playoffs, which is great. It's exciting. It's something to look forward to. They put themselves in position to get to this point, where that this game means if they win, they get to the playoffs, and they have a chance as a division champ to also, of course, to wrap up the division title and win and win a spot in the playoffs. And that's awesome. They where they were a month from now, a month ago rather, when losing in Miami. A lot of us didn't think that this was going to be the case, but as they've done in recent times, they've resurrected themselves. And they put themselves in position to make the playoffs and win a division title for the first time since 2017 as far as division title wins. A good thing, and all good things. So hopefully they can finish this job, right? Finish it off now, get to the playoffs, and then you take your chances. Whoever you play, you play. The first game's at home. You have to go on the road, whatever it is. You're going on it with momentum at that time. So, hey, anything can happen in the playoffs. We've seen this. Anyhow, that's going to do it for the little pregame talk about this one. I'm going to have some buddies here tomorrow, again, watching the game because they wanted to do this weekend after the Eagles won last week. We got to do this again. We got to come back. I'm like, all right. I'll be going to Lee's before the game to get if it's a big game, it's a Lee's hoagie. So I'm going to do that for the, my pregame. My tailgate here downstairs in the man cave. Well, there's no tailgate, but So anyhow, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep that tradition going. I'm gonna wear my Brian Dawkins jersey. I wear that jersey. I pulled that one out for the big games. My old Brian Dawkins jersey. I'm going to wear that one again tomorrow as I wore last week, and hope for good things. So anyhow, that's going to do it for this portion of the vid. But right now, Festive, of course, is ready because Festive went 3-1 a week ago. It was a better week for Festive than it was a week before. And Festive right now for this week's Festive 4, the final Festive 4 of 2019 and also the final Festive 4 of this NFL season, because Festive's not doing playoff Festive 4. So Festive comes in with a record of 39-21. That's pretty good. So Festive is a win away from 40 wins. Picking 40 games correctly, but of course Festive wants a little more than just one win this week. And here is the 4-pack of the winners that Festive feel are going to happen this weekend, I should say, in the final weekend of the regular season. And here we go. First of all, Festive likes Pittsburgh against Baltimore, who's starting a lot of backups tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. Festive likes Buffalo over the Jets. Also likes Green Bay over Detroit. Green Bay finishes strong there. And also New England against Miami. Festive went with the low-hanging fruit there because Festive feels the Patriots, they know they're a win away from a first-round bye because they'll be the 2 seed, I believe, if they win against Miami. Of course, Baltimore already wrapped up the number 1 seed, so it's going to go through Baltimore and the AFC. And New England, I believe, if they beat Miami, they'll wrap up that number 2 seed and, have yet again a first-round bye, which they have. It's their annual first-round bye for the Patriots. So anyhow, in repeat, Festive likes Pittsburgh over Baltimore, Buffalo over the Jets, Green Bay over Detroit, and New England over Miami. That's the Festive 4. And that's going to be the Festive 4 for the season. That's the Festive 4 for 2019. And that is it. There is no more for the Festive 4. There is no more for this video. I just came in over just about 22 minutes, so I'm doing a little better. So anyhow, that's the pregame vid for Week 17. Eagles at the Gents. And, we'll see what happens. Obviously, hey, look, it could be a close game. It could be a nail-biter. I don't have many left, but it could be a nail-biter. If it's another miracle in the Meadowlands, like I said, I'll take it. If it's a walkover, if it's a blowout type of game, which I don't think it will be, but if the Eagles just want to do us a favor and actually have a game where we're not on the edge of the seat in the fourth quarter, that would be nice too. But obviously, it's probably going to be an edge of the seat fourth quarter type of game. It just seems to be the way it's going. But we'll see. Like I said, I don't care. Just win. That's all that matters to me as an Eagles fan. Win this game, win the division title, go to the playoffs with momentum, and you never know what can happen. Go on a run. Who knows, right? Get in. You can't do anything if you don't get in, so get in and keep it away from Dallas. Even better, keep it away from them. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Let's go Birds! Big one tomorrow in the Meadowlands. Let's wrap it up. Playoff spot, division title. Keep the dominance over the Giants going, and we'll get to the playoffs with a 4-game win streak, momentum, everything there to get a home game for the wild card, and we'll see how it goes from there. All right, I'll be back after the game. We'll post-game talk about the game, and hopefully we're celebrating a division title and a playoff berth. All right, everyone, take care. Go Birds!